every audience has different expectations, but their number one expectation is that they are involved in the broadcast. A live stream should feel like an organic extension of your event and not just an add-on experience. Your audience needs to be engaged with your content, which means they need to be able to interact in some way, whether it's with the content itself, with your presenters, or if it's with each other. That's something that you need to think about. The streaming platform that you choose is going to dictate how that engagement happens. So for example, if you're doing a broadcast on Facebook Live, you're going to see a lot of comments, you're going to see the emoji reaction things, you're going to see stuff like that. As opposed to Twitch, for example, where your audience's expectation is that there is a live chat that is constantly going. And so if you're on Twitch, you're gonna need to have a presence in that chat to be able to like communicate with people in real time. YouTube also has that live chat, so that's an expectation there as well. So 3 things to think about. 1, where have I built my audience? So chances are your organization has already put marketing dollars behind building an audience on at least one of these platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, whatever. Choose the platform where you have seen the best engagement and just go there. Also think about where your audience is going to be watching. If they're watching at home, then Facebook or YouTube might work great, but if they're at work, they might not be able to watch a Facebook event, and so you need to kind of think about that as well. 3rd thing to think about is how visible should your broadcast be? If you want as many eyeballs as possible on it, then it's totally okay to just simulcast to all of the platforms simultaneously, which is what we're doing right now, live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. I don't think we're on any others, just those 3. But if you want to limit the size of your audience, you can put up a paywall, you can put up a registration gateway, and that's a great way to kind of collect additional information about your audience. So, talking about collecting additional information about your audience, you want to think about how to collect actionable data from your broadcasts. So social media is great for providing aggregate data. If you're doing a Facebook Live broadcast, you can dial in and you can see men versus women, or like how many people in Illinois in a certain age range tuned into your broadcast. But you're not going to get granular information. We're not going to know that that Anthony in Texas is watching the broadcast. So in cases where you need, where you're using live streaming as like a lead generation tool, putting a registration gateway in front of it is a great way to collect that information. So that's just creating a simple landing page through your website with a little bit of copy about your event, and then having a little contact form that says, fill this out and we'll tell you when the event goes live. A couple companies that are doing this really well that you can kind of look at as leaders in this area are Glassdoor, Smashfly, and HubSpot. So if you see any advertisements for any of their live streams, I definitely recommend you sign up for them and pay attention to the entire event experience, from that first email that they send, or even going to that landing page, that first email that they send, and then how they follow up with you after. Glassdoor, Smashfly, HubSpot are all really, really great at it. Another thing that you want to think about is following up with your participants right before and also one day after your event. So we always send an email or an e-blast out like 5, 10, 15 minutes before a broadcast, and that helps drive people to be at the broadcast at the appropriate time. But you also want to follow up a day afterwards and just see what they thought about it and kind of get more information from them. Now, the number one thing to think about in terms of audience is their engagement, right? Like I said earlier. A question that we always ask our clients is, why does your event need to be live? And sometimes there's not like a good answer to that question, and that's okay, but in those situations you can do a live to tape broadcast, you can do a traditional kind of videography package and put something together afterwards. But the number one reason to why something needs to be live is because you want to connect your audience to your content in real time, right? So that's something that you need to think about. There's a couple of simple engagement tools that you can use to kind of drive that audience interaction. A moderated Q&A is a great example. That's actually something that we do for this show, is during the broadcast, we collect comments across all of the platforms. And then at the very end, we'll follow up with the questions that have been asked and just answer them at the end. So we have a moderator who's like collecting the questions, and then those get fed to me and Erica or the other co-hosts or whatever, and then we answer them at the end. So that's a good way to drive engagement. People love having their questions answered during a broadcast, and so they'll often like stay tuned till the very end to see if their question gets answered. Another good engagement tool is a live chat. Twitch and YouTube both have great live chats. You can also, there's tons of chat widgets available to plug into your website if you want to encourage communication that way. And the whole point of this is to just keep your audience watching and keep them engaged for much longer. So when you have those engagement opportunities, they stick around. And that's why you see on an average live stream, you'll see people tuning in for like over 30 minutes, which when was the last time you watched like a 30-minute video on YouTube?